Hello everyone! In this video, I am sharing the recipe and process of my Dead Sea soap. To make this soap, I used a hanger to create a simple swirl. The swirl is made by some soap batter mixed with activated charcoal. The recipe here is for 1200 oil weight. The recipe is on the website, and I also wrote the recipe for 1000 oil weight. So if you have a smaller mold, use the recipe for 1000 total oils weight. Always use eyes and skin protection while making soap. I started with the water. I used 280 grams of water. Add the sodium hydroxide, also known as lye, to the water and mix them to dissolve the sodium hydroxide. I used 170 grams of sodium hydroxide. In a pot, I added 396 grams of coconut oil and 144 grams of cocoa butter. I placed the pot on low heat to melt the coconut oil and the cocoa butter. I weigh the liquid oils while the hard oil and butter are melting. I added 360 grams of olive oil, 240 grams of sunflower oil, and 60 grams of castor oil. I set the liquid oils aside and prepared the Dead Sea clay by mixing 2 tablespoons of the powder with 66 grams of water. The clay will not dissolve completely. It will form this wet mud-like texture. Later, I will mix it with the soap batter. When the coconut oil and the cocoa butter were melted, I added them to the liquid oils. I also added 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. Cornstarch gives a silky and smooth texture to the soap. You can skip it or use arrowroot powder instead. I check the temperature of the oils and the lye solution before pouring the lye solution into the oils. I used an immersion blender to emulsify the oils with the lye solution. I only wanted to reach a light trace, so I only blended for a few seconds. To create the swirl, I divided 1/5 part of the batter into another container and added half tablespoon of the activated charcoal powder. I set it aside. I added the Dead Sea clay mixture to the larger soap batch. To make the swirl, I used a hanger. You can also use a chopstick to make a similar effect. I prepare the hanger to fit the soap mold. I added the essential oil blend. This is optional, and you can always make an unscented soap. All the information with all the details in the written post, the link is in the description. I poured the soap batter into the mold. As you can see, it's very liquidy, which is important for creating the flowing movement in the swirl. I prepared the fifth part of the soap batter, mixing the activated charcoal and adding the essential oils. For this swirl, I poured close to the edge of the mold from a high angle because I wanted the batter to reach almost the bottom of the mold. Now I pushed the hanger down to the bottom of the mold, close to the left side. I slid the hanger from the side close to me to the other side of the mold and pulled it up. The hanger's movement is minimal, but it will create the effect of a feather swirl. If you are using a chopstick, you will need to create a swirl motion close to the edge of the mold using the chopstick. I did a little top swirl and left the soap for 24 hours to solidify. The next day, I cut the soap into bars. After about 4 weeks of curing, the soap bars will be ready. I have written all the information on the post. The post is linked in the description.